Hey now, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Red Alert Diaries with Tanya E. Hood. I'm Tanya E. Hood, a wife, a mother, and an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, it simply means I've worn a lot of different hats in my life that have helped me develop a full range of strategies and actionable steps that I've used to help my clients make a strategic impact, both personally and professionally, to have better than what life has been giving them. Red Alert Diaries is based on the life lessons from my premier book, Red Alert, Is He the One? The Pocket Guide to Finding the Love of Your Life. And if you read my book, you already know that I got married at 21, and after 11 years of marriage, I found myself going through a divorce, having to raise my 2 sons alone. To reset my life and survive my divorce, I took the time I needed to get to know me better, which opened me up to new love again. So now, I'm in a new marriage to the love of my life and my best friend, which just proves there is life after divorce. On this podcast, we have conversations that's real talk, marriage, divorce, money, and legacy. I want you to join me on the journey. Call 240-532-2227. That's 240-532-2227. I want this podcast to challenge your thoughts and inspire you to grow. So together, we can operate in excellence. Today, I want to share some insight about a few questions I keep being asked. I wrote this information down in chapter 6 of my premier book. I was asked, should I even try to go out on a date with my ex again? So let me read you a little bit about what I wrote. Ladies, there comes a time in your life when you have to decide that the approval of a man in your life is unnecessary. I'm not responsible for his insecurities. I was not disrespecting myself with the outfit I wore, and my behavior was appropriate. It became very obvious after that date that the ex was still the same as he had always been. He didn't seem interested in truly getting to know me or understand me. He was still trying to mold me into this vision he created of this special woman. There is nothing wrong with having a vision of a person that you want in your life. We all should look for that special someone we envisioned in our lives. My problem came in the fact of knowing that I was not her. For years, I felt like he was trying to change me. My time with him solidified a few things in my soul. First, if the man you meet makes you feel that you need to completely reinvent yourself, something is wrong. This is where I ask you to consider the relationship in terms of cost. If you need to change basics about who you are to make him feel more secure, it will cost you. I'd already lived a life with him where I changed my hairstyle to fit his taste. I changed the style of my clothes I wore to fit his liking. I even stopped eating my favorite fruit because he was allergic to it. Did you hear me? I stopped eating my favorite fruit to accommodate his needs. Second thing I learned is this relationship expensive, spiritually, emotionally, or physically? I now have valuable lessons from God that strengthened me since the divorce. That date made me wonder if I would have to once again change myself spiritually to keep peace with my ex. I was not willing to repeat that past spiritual depletion with the ex because it had already cost me emotionally and physically. I was not going to walk down that road again. You see, going on that date with the ex taught me a few things. And I had to make a decision that I was going to honor the Tanya that I had grown to be. I lost myself in my marriage, and the divorce caused me to take a moment to really consider what I was bringing to the table. I'm not saying that you should not go back and try to rekindle the relationship or fix that. If it's possible, go ahead and do it, because I certainly wanted to. But there are too many times we don't pay attention to the things that we really want out of life. So this is where I want to encourage you. Discover what you're truly bringing to the table. What are your strengths? What are you good at? What do you like? What do you really want out of your life? Because you will never be able to be clear about who can be complementary to your life if you're not sure what you already possess. So I wrote chapter 6 to give you insight into being more certain of the things that you need, the things that you want. So when someone shows up, you are not creating new projects to mold people into what you want. You are clear when you meet that person that they already have what you want. I was no longer the Tanya that it was when he married me at 21. At this point in my life, I had enough experiences to be clear about what I truly desired. And I was certain that I didn't want to continue to pay the cost that I had already paid. There was enough that I had already given away. I was no longer going to allow the rest of my life to be part of that moment. So when you choose to look at your ex and decide, can we make it? Look at who you are today. What lessons have you learned? What insight have you gained? You have more information about that individual than you do anybody else. Start analyzing that. I shared before that I did an autopsy on my divorce. While doing that autopsy, I looked at some things that I was doing in my divorce that brought it to its demise, as well as look at some of the things that my ex did. See, when you look at your relationship, it doesn't matter if you're married at this time, just relationships. When you take the time to see your relationships from both perspectives, what you did and what you didn't do, you'll have more clarity and a little bit of grace for that person that you're in relationship with. You see, at this point in my life with the ex, I wanted to try again because we had children, and if I could figure out how to make it work, I was going to. But I also realized that marriage is that lifelong commitment. And I had to know that I really, really, at the core of my being, wanted to be married to him for the rest of my life. Because I didn't intend to get divorced again. This journey, if I was going to walk back in it, had to last. And so when I looked at him, I discovered there are really great qualities that he had that I was drawn to and I appreciated. But I also knew, because I realized who he was as well, there were pieces about him that didn't fit with pieces in me. We were two good individuals. We had a heart to serve in a lot of ways, but there were still elements that the two of us just could not blend. We were not complementary. When you make the decision to find whoever that is in your marriage or relationship, it's not just being male or female. Yes, my book says, Red Alert, is he the one? But I write it from my perspective. The insights are universal. So male or female, you can get what you need from this book to decide how to have a better relationship with yourself so that you can have a better relationship with others. And if you want to do the ultimate, I shared that in chapter 7. It's having a better relationship with a being greater than yourself. That combination will help you seal whatever relationship you're in because you'll know more of who you are. You'll take the time to discover who they are. And when you choose to see, will this work? You'll discover if it's complementary. Well, the ex and I, once I went on that date, gave me true clarity. It was not going to work. There were pieces of him that did change, and I saw it, and I'm glad I saw it. But I also realized that the pieces that Tanya needed at that point in my life, he wasn't able to bring to the table, and I no longer wanted to try to figure out how to mold and shape somebody else to be a part of my life. I had reached a point in my world where I had counted the costs and discovered whoever else was going to show up and join me on this journey called life had to bring something complementary to what I already had. I'm a supporter. So this person needs to be clear and understand that that's something that I have to do. And they would have to be an individual that would support me in doing that. See, the beautiful thing that I love about my husband, Eric, is that we have complementary gifts. I know when he needs to go out and be a support system to the world, and I figure out how I can be his biggest cheerleader and support him through that process. But Eric also does the same for me. That complementary nature is what I needed. That is something that I want to encourage you to look for. So as you go through your journey, making a decision about whoever it is in your world, be it the ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, or a new relationship that's showing up, take a look at them. If that woman in your world is not bringing you insight to know that you can do things in your life and she'll support you and bring something to the table to help you magnify it, grow it, and edify it. See, that's the reason God brought Eve. When Adam was given his assignment, he didn't even know that there was a Eve. God had not yet made her. He was about doing his work. But when God created her, he brought her to be by his side. That's why he took her from his rib, so that he can have someone that was next to him and with him in his journey that could support what was happening. Well, there's elements that goes both ways. There's a gift and a calling and a solution that you bring to the world. Whoever is going to be a part of your existence needs to complement you in it. So for today, I want to encourage you, if you don't remember anything else that has been shared, be mindful of who you are at the core of your being. Know what you're bringing to the table. And if someone's going to be coming into that environment, are they complementary? And if you're looking to have someone join you on the journey, reach out to me. I would love to be of service to you. Go to my website, tanyaehood.com. There you can see under the Work With Me tab the various ways that I can support you on the journey. And if you're on Clubhouse, join me every Tuesday in the Red Alert Diaries room at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so that we can continue this conversation or we can start a new one. This is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose, and I want you to do the same.